have to vote to be a good American, it shouldn't be an expectation. I've looked at the numbers for the past 50 years. How many people actually get out and vote? About 1/3 of Americans don't even vote. Only 2/3 of America consistently vote. And there's nothing wrong with that. As I explained before, there are different ways to express your opinions, your beliefs, and your morals. That does not mean that you have to do anything in November. I didn't vote for 12 years. The whole point is, my family believes you're not a good American citizen if you don't vote. There's nowhere in the Constitution or in any document that makes voting a mandatory activity to be declared a legal U.S. citizen. Do I personally think people should vote? I don't have an opinion because it's not my business. I can say that everyone has their own agenda, good or bad, or a combination of the both. It's not my business. And no, I don't have an opinion. I'm going to start voting for one reason. Because historically speaking, the groups of people most likely to lose their rights to be a scapegoat for the politically elite are non-hetero cis people. The transgender community, a very warm, wonderful, very old community. I mean, there isn't a decade in American history that doesn't have some form of transgender or LGBTQIA history. One of my favorite decades of queer history is the 1950s. It was probably the most homophobic decade of the 20th century. But there's so many interesting things that happened during that time that it's like the 1980s. I would say the 1980s is the second most homophobic decade of the 20th century. But so much happened. Voting. I mean, white women got the right to vote in 1920 in America. African American, especially men or women, and I'm talking about cis heterosexual people, they didn't get their vote for 40 years later, the 1960s. Because white people didn't think or believe, by the majority, that African American people were equal and that they should have equality. I mean, you look at a lot of famous orators and political giants. Even Thomas Jefferson believed that the African American had a subhuman brain. And there's a reason why the Constitution only says all men are created equal. Because every single founding father did not believe that women had the brain and critical thinking to have what I call voting expertise, which we now know is complete and utter BS. It doesn't matter what gender, what race, what ethnicity you are, even though there's only one race. Everyone who meets the standard of being a U.S. citizen who hasn't committed a felony can vote. Whether or not they vote is no one's business. Whether you're married or related to somebody, or you're a friend or a stranger, it's no one's business how you live your life. Whether you vote, whether you don't. One of the darkest parts of our history, which is in 2025, white, cis, heterosexual men, a good group of Republican conservatives, they want to repeal, I believe it's the 19th Amendment, that allows women of any race or gender to vote, specifically women. You saw the ad before Trump was voted into the White House. Harris wanted women, especially in conservative areas, to vote however they wanted, even if they had to lie to their spouse, to vote how you want to vote. It is an American right that can't be taken away without somebody committing a felony or voter fraud. And when the group of people that statistically supports and voted for Trump believe that women of any race should not have the right to vote, it is not surprising. It's dehumanizing. Women are statistically great voters. Not all of them. I mean, there was a great amount of minority women that voted for Trump against their best interests and against their gender's best interests. But historically, women haven't always voted for the Democratic best scenario, which is ironic because conservative white men believe that women are the reason that most Democratic representatives, senators, and presidents get elected, when that's not what the stats show. That's just not the truth. And I find it ironic that men want to get rid of female voting when women don't vote the way they think they should vote. Can you imagine repealing someone's right to vote because they don't vote the way you think they should vote? And, I mean, I'm the kind of person, if you don't like the way I vote, shut the fuck up. Go somewhere. Preferably anywhere where I'm not. But you don't take away someone's rights because they vote differently than you. I mean, anyone who voted for Trump is just a lousy human being. Whether or not they had a comprehension of what they voted for, you're still responsible for the idiot in the White House. The narcissistic, racist person that is our president right now. That's just the way the world is going. And I find it offensive when men say that women have no right to vote. They have more right to vote. Why? Because men of privilege, specifically cis heterosexual men, have always consistently and historically been proven to deny rights to people who have limited access to owning land or higher education. It was men that kept women and Africans from getting education, like becoming doctors, dentists, anything that wasn't a nurse, a teacher, or a volunteer was very much slated for women. Men have always historically been proven to deny women human rights because it would affect their privilege. Women have a right to vote, not because they're women, but because they're human beings with their own unique approach to life. Not because they're mothers, daughters, sisters, wives, because they're a human being. If you only see women as human beings when they're attached to men or children, you are a sick, ignorant person. Women have value, not because they're wives, not because they're some man's daughter, but because they're human beings. And any political platform that infantilizes women, villainizes women, you are biting the hand that fed you for years. Without women, most of these narcissistic, rape-approving, racist, xenophobic, homophobic transphobic men would not exist. If women hadn't denied consistently, historically, what they wanted in life, to have kids, most of these waste of space politicians would not exist. Charlie Kirk wouldn't have existed. Women put their hopes, their dreams, their life plans on hold to have kids. For the most part, women put their dreams on hold to have a family whose children will someday grow up to oppress other people. It's one reason why I don't have kids. It's just one less male oppressor in the world. And I'm not saying all men are oppressors. I'm saying the majority are. Especially if you live in the Midwest, where the stupid conservative Republican values seem to be prevalent. Not only is it embarrassing, it's dehumanizing to women. Women deserve so much better. They deserve everything. And men just don't see them as consistently fully human, but subhuman, and it's sickening.